In the quiet hum of the old Ford sedan cruising down the interstate toward Oak Ridge, New Jersey, Emily Carter gripped the steering wheel tighter, her knuckles whitening as memories flooded back like a slow-building storm. The engine's familiar rattle was a comfort, a relic from her early days of scraping by. But today it carried her toward the moment she'd silently rehearsed for 12 years. The family meeting at her parents' house loomed ahead, a discussion about their aging health, laced with the same condescension she'd endured since dropping out of college. Her brother, Nathan, the polished corporate lawyer, had called it a practical conversation about contributions. He meant pity. They all did. But Emily wasn't the struggling freelancer they imagined anymore. She was the ghost in their assumptions, the one who'd turned betrayal into billions. And today, the silence she'd weaponized would shatter everything. The weight of it all pressed on her chest. A dull ache that had started as a child's confusion and hardened into calculated resolve. Growing up in the shadow of Nathan's Ivy League trophies and little sister Lydia's charmed social climb, Emily had always been the odd one out, the girl who tinkered with circuits in the garage while her siblings networked at galas. Her parents, solid middle-class folks who'd clawed their way from blue-collar roots, measured worth in diplomas and dowries. "Why can't you aim higher?" Like Nathan, her mother would whisper during dinner, eyes flicking to Emily's laptop as if it were a dirty secret. Nathan, with his Yale law degree and corner office in Manhattan, smirked knowingly. Lydia, the beauty who married into a hedge fund family, rolled her eyes and changed the subject to her latest Hamptons getaway. They never saw the fire in Emily's eyes, the quiet fury when her ideas were dismissed as hobbies. That rejection wasn't just words, it was a blade, carving doubt into her soul, teaching her that family love came with conditions. 12 years ago, at Thanksgiving in their Oak Ridge Colonial, the blade twisted deepest. Emily, then 20, had burst in with news she'd won a hackathon prize. Lined up beta testers for her AI-driven fraud detection software aimed at protecting everyday folks from financial scams. "I'm dropping out," she'd announced, voice trembling with excitement. "This could change lives, stop identity theft before it ruins families like ours." The room froze. Her father, a retired accountant, slammed his fork down. "You're throwing away your future for some tech fantasy? No Carter drops out." Her mother clutched her necklace, tears welling. "What will people say? Nathan's making partner. Lydia's interning at Vogue." Nathan laughed outright. That cruel, superior chuckle. "Emily, 95% of startups crash and burn. Stick to community college, maybe get a real job." Lydia chimed in. "It's cute, but grow up. You're not Elon Musk." The words echoed in Emily's mind as she packed that night, leaving a note, "I can't be your version of success. I'll find my own." She drove away in the dead of night, heart pounding, the betrayal searing like acid. They hadn't just doubted her, they'd erased her. Riverside, a gritty suburb outside Newark, became her exile. She crashed on friends' couches, coded in coffee shops with spotty Wi-Fi, survived on dollar store noodles. The isolation gnawed at her. Nights spent questioning if their mockery was prophecy. Rejections piled up, investors calling her too naive, banks denying loans. One venture capitalist sneered, "Pretty ideas, kid. But real business needs grit." Grit? She'd show them. Fueled by the phantom echoes of that Thanksgiving laughter, she refined her algorithm, turning it into FraudGuard, a tool that flagged scams in real time for banks and small businesses. Her first break came from a local credit union owner, an immigrant like her grandparents, who saw her desperation and gave her a shot. One contract led to two. Then a seed round from a skeptical angel investor who tested her code relentlessly. "Prove it works," he demanded. She did. Pulling all-nighters. Her body aching from cheap mattresses. Her mind frayed by doubt. But success crept in slowly. A whisper building to a roar. As Fraudguard grew, so did the silence Emily chose. She hired a team. Moved to a dingy office in an industrial park. Landed deals with regional banks. By year 5, her software was protecting millions from financial ruin. Earning praise in Forbes as the guardian angel of everyday finances. She sold to a major fintech giant for $75 million. Plus equity that ballooned her net worth into 9 figures. But she told no one. Not when Nathan sent condescending holiday cards with job leads and closed. Not when Lydia offered hand-me-down clothes for interviews. Not when her parents wired help money she quietly returned. The secrecy wasn't spite at first, it was armor. Their pity insulated her from the vulnerability of sharing triumphs they'd once belittled. But over time, it morphed into something darker, a quiet vendetta, letting their assumptions fester while she built an empire in the shadows. The emotional toll was heavy, sleepless nights replaying old hurts. Therapy sessions unpacking the imposter syndrome they planted. Yet it drove her forward, turning pain into power. With the windfall, Emily didn't splurge on yachts or mansions. She lived simply in a 1-bedroom walk-up. Drove her battered Ford. Shopped thrift stores. Wealth, to her, was freedom from their judgments. But the real transformation came 2 years ago. When subtle signs of her parents' decline surfaced, her father's forgotten names, her mother's unsteady gait after a fall. Nathan's emails dripped with obligation. We need to plan their care, everyone chips in. Even if it's small from you. The implication stung. Rekindling the old fire. That's when she poured millions into Carter Wellness Retreat, a cutting-edge assisted living community in nearby Willowbrook, luxury suites, AI-monitored health tech, therapy gardens designed for dementia patients. It was no ordinary facility. It embodied her vision of dignity. Funded by a foundation subsidizing care for low-income families. She'd built it for them. Anonymously. A silent atonement laced with retribution. The law was on her side, trusts set up impeccably. Deeds ironclad under New Jersey statutes. But the price? Her heart grew colder. Relationships atrophied in isolation. The call from Nathan 3 days ago had sealed it. Family meeting Saturday, 2 p.m. About mom and dad's future. I know money's tight for you, but we'll figure your share. She bit back rage. Tasting blood. I'll be there. Now. Pulling into the Oak Ridge driveway. Her Ford looked shabby beside Nathan's Audi and Lydia's Mercedes. Inside, the air thickened with tension. Her mother hugged her weakly. Hip brace visible. You made it. Traffic okay in that old car? Nathan, in his crisp suit, nodded curtly. Grab a seat, I've got slides. Lydia, manicured and poised, offered coffee with a pitying smile. Harrison says his firm has entry-level IT spots, benefits included. Emily swallowed the bile. Playing along one last time. The dining room setup screamed control. Nathan's projector beaming cost breakdowns. Facilities ranked by price. Sunrise Oaks, affordable but basic. Elite Haven, premium. $18,000 monthly. He assigned shares. Lydia and I cover 45% each. Emily. 10%, about $1,800 a month. We can defer if needed. The room spun with suppressed fury, years of dismissal boiling under her skin. I agree, Emily said softly. Voice like a gathering thunder. Eyes turned. Surprised. She reached into her faded tote. Pulling brochures. But let's consider Carter Wellness Retreat. Nathan snatched one. Scoffing. This is Ultralux $25K monthly. Waiting list years long. Irrelevant. Lydia frowned. How do you even know about it? Emily's heart raced, the damning emotions surging. I own it. Silence exploded like a bomb. Her father's eyes widened, her mother gasped. Nathan stammered. Impossible, you're struggling. Documents spilled out, deeds, bank statements, sale papers. Fraud guards sold for $75 million 5 years back. I built the retreat for families like ours, top dementia care. Subsidized spots. Your suites reserved. Paid forever. Lydia's face crumpled. But your car. Your clothes. Emily stood, voice cracking with raw pain. Because your approval stopped mattering the night you laughed at my dreams. I hid it to escape your pity. Your betrayal. But the cost? Loneliness. Trust shattered. The whir of rotors grew outside, a chartered helicopter descending on the lawn. Blades whipping wind like her unleashed storm. They gaped as Emily led them out. Tour starts now. See what your failure created. The flight was tense. Air thick with unspoken regrets. Below, Oakridge shrank, mirroring their diminished egos. At the retreat, Dr. Elena Vargas guided them through sunlit suites, hydrotherapy pools, memory lanes with subtle safety tech, 1-to-2 staff ratio, holistic programs founded by a visionary who lost family to inadequate care. Nathan whispered, "You did this alone?" Emily nodded, tears stinging. Your rejection freed me, but it cost me you. Her father, lucid in the moment, touched her arm. We broke something in you. Lydia sobbed. We were blind. Back home. As the helicopter lifted away, confessions poured, Nathan's apologies for superiority, Lydia's for superficiality, parents' remorse for conditional love. Emily forgave. But scars lingered, the price of her choices evident in wary eyes. Dinner that night was raw, rebuilding from ruins. She drove away in her Ford, heart lighter yet heavier, knowing revenge's victory was hollow. Silence had empowered her, but isolation had been its cruel toll. In the end, family bonds mended, but the fractures reminded her some wounds heal, others define.